Zeb Powell out of Waynesville, North Carolina, 20 years old, making his XGames debut.
He kept staying in the lead. We just kept looking at each other going like, can you believe this? He's actually winning this right now.
And that coffin to backflip? That is crazy.
It was kind of surreal.
Oh!
In true Zeb fashion, he would have been happy if he'd finished last. Yeah, because that's the kind of person he is. Winning is secondary for him. We're really sitting right in the middle of the oldest mountain range in the world, the Appalachians. And this is one of the prettiest places in the world you could live and grow up in, because we've got 4 seasons and they're all equally long. Because of that, with Zeb growing up, he was blessed to have a small ski slope in Maggie Valley, which is right next to Waynesville. And so he got to spend a lot of time as a really young kid learning how to ride. You know, it's obvious, Zeb's adopted, and almost all our kids are adopted.
People just stare at us because my daughter, my oldest biological daughter, she has a black child too. And then my son, who's biracial, is married to a redhead. So you send us out in public and people are just trying to figure out who belongs to who. It's pretty fun to watch them all stare and try and figure it out.
And so I've always sort of felt like Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You just don't ever know what you're gonna get, because we adopted probably one of the most diverse, talented, intelligent, good-looking crews of young Americans that I've ever known, and they all just turned out to be fabulous people. And they all had really diverse interests.
He was just always perpetual motion, I guess would be the best way to describe Zeb. I don't even think he could walk a straight line. There was always a zig or a zag or a jump or a flip. I think it was just in his DNA. I think he just came that way.
My body knows better than my mind, so basically, like, anytime I was in trouble, like, I could somehow land on my feet. I've always been called a cat, and that comes from birth, basically.
His brothers and sisters, they all skied a little bit, but not really. But we saw this insane balance that Zeb had. And when we saw how he took to skateboarding, we were like, well, we need to get him up to the slopes.
My first night, I actually hit a box, and it was like, I think I was hooked from there on.
The level that he snowboarded at, he usually was with the teenagers or the college kids, because kids his age really weren't doing what he was doing.
This little kid, helmet way too big for him, just loved to snowboard. And he would, like, it could be raining, it could be the iciest day ever, horrible conditions. No, it's snowboarding, it's great. No matter the worst day of snowboarding was better than not snowboarding.
Well, I remember my sister calling and saying they're opening this new Woodward thing. You gotta come out here. He has to check it out. He's gonna love it.
I would, like, go so hard and, like, have so much fun, like snowboarding, and get out the mountain, go skateboard everywhere. I've never experienced the whole, like, snowboard way of life environment, so it was just super sick for me.
By the end, that's when, you know, Chad and all of them started saying, he needs to go to a snowboarding school. And I was like, a what? Because I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Snowboarders have so much opportunity. Like, to be able to go to a snowboard school as a 7th and 8th grader and be able to go snowboard every day is, like, such an amazing opportunity.
My job at SMS, I'm the director of snowboarding here. We like to just provide our athletes with all the opportunities we can, and then hopefully they take advantage of them like Zeb did. Things came easier on the hill than it did in the classroom, but with a small ratio of students to teacher, Zeb was able to have a lot of extra time with the teachers. He had to work extra hard in the classroom, and SMS is a place that can really, help student athletes with that.
I know he wouldn't have succeeded or fared as well in a public school. He has ADD his entire life. I mean, he's worked, fought with it and worked through it since first grade.
I think at public schools, most of the teachers, it's like they have so many kids to teach. It's like they don't really take the time to think about those few kids that need more help. Because not everyone learns the same. You could actually go to a teacher and ask for help, or ask for more time. Maybe they could help you succeed the same way that all the other students can.
And they would just do whatever it took. And I know he wouldn't have got that attention in a public school.
Yeah, I'd say, Zeb's a huge inspiration and for all the kids here, all the student athletes at SMS. He was always charging, humble, trying to learn new stuff, pushing himself on the hill in the classroom, and yeah, just a good positive role model for all the kids here.
With Zeb, he was just always eyeballing, trying to find oh, look at this, look at that, look at this. Just finding the most unique and weird and randomest things. I could probably jump and hit that, tap it, spin off of it. Pretty much the whole mountain was his part.
I think the whole creative aspect came from when I was still riding Appalachia, because we had no jumps where we're from, so we had to make it up on our own, find our own hits and stuff.
With Zeb's strength and his style and the way he snowboards, everything he does, no one's really done. So for him, I consider that the most entertaining and awesome professional snowboarder to watch, in my opinion. And he does it all with, he kind of knows what he's doing, but he's just what are you gonna do? He's I don't know. I'm just gonna go left maybe and hope it works out. And he's snowboarding has a lot to offer, so I think he's got a long run ahead of him.
When they created the Knuckle Huck, I was oh, that has Zeb's name written all over it. If we can get him in that, he will do well.
Zeb Powell, out of Waynesville, North Carolina, 20 years old, making his X Games debut.
That's my favorite event to watch because it's very subjective of what's going on. So much creativity involved. If you go to a back 10 double off the knuckle, you're gonna get a 1. But if you go do a coffin slide to inverted method, and where you're subjecting yourself to some severe danger, the higher danger level, the highest points you're gonna get.
And that coffin to backflip? Goes coffin slide, and then when he gets some amplitude, look at full coffin slide. He's on his back, and then he just has to be patient, wait till he's in the air and finish that back. That's very cool.
And the cool thing was, at that Knuckle Huck, it was one of the most consistent nights I've ever seen him land. He was landing every trick, and it was just so awesome.
What a moment for Zeb Powell, making his X Games debut. He came to Aspen for this one event, took the lead off of his first run, and never looked back.
I think it's always been his goal, and I know over the past few years people have said, oh, he's going to the Olympics, he's going to the Olympics, and I said, if he goes anywhere, he's going to go to X Games. But I didn't think that the first time he went to X Games, he'd walk away with a gold medal.
Well, I want to inspire all snowboarders, of course. Like, I've heard so many other black snowboarders say like, you're such an inspiration. Like, just being able to like show them like what's up, or like show them that they can snowboard. It's like the first step to like just like kind of getting that ball rolling and like, showing everyone that you can snowboard.
I think he is really humbled and excited to have been the first Black American to get a gold in Winter X Games. And we just hope with him kind of pushing the sport and him trying to help out other kids, he won't be the last. And so I'm very proud of him.